I thought I was going crazy when I saw the eyes staring out from the back of people's heads. But when I tried to warn them, no one believed me. It started on a Monday morning during my usual commute to work. I was on the bus, staring blankly out the window, when I noticed something strange. The man sitting in front of me, his back turned to me, seemed off. I couldn't put my finger on it at first, but then I saw it, a pair of eyes staring back at me from the back of his head. I blinked, convinced I was seeing things. But when I looked again, they were still there. Two dark, hollow eyes, wide open, unblinking, locked onto mine. The man didn't seem to notice, didn't react, just sat there staring straight ahead as if nothing was wrong. Holy shit, I muttered under my breath, my heart pounding in my chest. I looked around expecting someone else to notice, but no one did. They were all just going about their morning routine, completely unaware of the horror right in front of them. I wanted to say something, to ask the man if he was okay. But what the hell would I even say? Hey dude, you've got a fucking pair of eyes growing out of the back of your head. I shook my head, trying to convince myself that he was trying to prank people or it was a weird reflection. Something, anything, other than what it appeared to be. But as the bus ride went on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was horribly wrong. When the man finally got off the bus, I watched him walk away, the eyes on the back of his head still staring at me until he disappeared into the crowd. I felt a shiver run down my spine, a cold, sick feeling settling in the pit of my stomach. I tried to forget about it, to convince myself that it was just a one-time thing, but the next day, I saw it again. This time it was a woman at the grocery store. She was standing in front of the dairy section, reaching for a carton of milk, when I saw them. The eyes, staring out from the back of her head, unblinking, locked onto mine. I froze, my heart racing, but the woman didn't seem to notice. She just grabbed her milk, turned, and walked away, the eyes disappearing as she did. Fuck, I whispered, my hands trembling. I tried to tell someone, one of the store employees, anyone, but they just looked at me like I was crazy, like I was making it up. I left the store in a daze, my mind racing, my hands shaking. What the hell was happening? Was I losing my mind? The sightings became more frequent after that. I saw the eyes everywhere, on the bus, in the park, at work. They were always the same, dark, hollow, unblinking, staring out from the back of people's heads, locked onto mine, and no one else seemed to notice. I tried telling my friends, but they didn't believe me. They said I was just tired, stressed out, that I needed to get some sleep. But I knew what I was seeing was real. I knew those eyes were out there, watching, always watching. One night, as I was walking home from work, I saw them again. This time, it was a man walking his dog, the eyes staring out from the back of his head, unblinking, following my every move. I felt a chill run down my spine, a cold, sick feeling settling in the pit of my stomach. "Hey!" I shouted, running toward him. "Hey, do you know—" But before I could finish, the man turned, his face twisted into a grotesque grin, the eyes on the back of his head disappearing as he did.
"Something wrong?"
he asked, his voice dripping with false concern. I stumbled back, my heart racing, my mind reeling. I thought I saw something," I stammered, my voice trembling. He took a step closer, his grin widening, his eyes, his real eyes, locked onto mine.
"You didn't see anything,"
he said, his voice low and menacing. I backed away, my hands shaking, my mind racing. Yeah, maybe I didn't," I muttered, turning to leave. As I walked away, I felt his eyes on me, following me, watching my every move. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see the eyes on the back of his head again. When I finally got home, I locked the door behind me, my heart pounding in my chest. I knew then that I wasn't crazy, that what I was seeing was real. The eyes were out there, following people, watching, always watching. But no one believed me. I stopped going out after that. I couldn't bear to see the eyes anymore. Couldn't handle the way they stared at me. Unblinking, hollow, always watching. I quit my job, stopped seeing my friends, just stayed home, locked in my apartment, hiding from the world. But even then, I wasn't safe. One night, as I was lying in bed, I felt a cold, creeping sensation in the back of my mind, like someone, or something, was watching me. I sat up, my heart pounding, my eyes darting around the room, but there was nothing there. Just the darkness, the silence, the suffocating weight of fear pressing down on me. And then I felt it, a presence behind me, a cold, dark presence that sent chills down my spine. Dread spilled through my veins like cold water. I sat up thinking. I knew what I had to do. As I walked to my bathroom, I was numb. I was forcing myself not to do anything past the next movement I was doing. I flicked on the harsh light and stared at my reflection, my hands resting on the bathroom sink. With a nod, I picked up the small mirror I had for shaving and began to angle it behind me. I turned slowly, my breath catching in my throat, and saw them. The eyes, staring out from the back of my own head, unblinking, hollow, locked onto mine in the mirror. I screamed, the sound echoing off the walls, but the eyes didn't move, didn't blink, just stared back at me, watching, always watching. I tried to run, but it was no use. The eyes were always there, always watching, always following me, no matter where I went, no matter what I did. They were a part of me now, a dark, twisted part that I couldn't escape, and no one believed me.